There were two things that were really important to me when designing CashTrak. One was to have a really clean interface without a lot of the junk that you see in the other expense tracking applications in the iTunes store. And the second was to make it super quick to get in and out of the application to store your transactions. So when you first load CashTrak, this is what you see, and entering a transaction is two very easy steps. So the first is to select your transaction category in the upper right, and then the second is to enter the amount on the keypad, and then you hit save. So let's say we go out to lunch and we spend $6 on a sandwich. $6 shows up in the upper left. Hit save transaction, done. Now, there's one other step that's an optional step on this page, which is entering a memo for the transaction. So let's say I'm driving home from work, I have to fill up my car with gas, but I want to remember that I went to Shell. So I can hit the memo field, type in a description, Shell, done, and then I spent $25, save transaction, and now I have my transaction with a memo of where I spent that money. So that's all there is to entering a transaction. So next step is, let's say you want to view transactions that you've already entered. So there are three tabs across the bottom. The first tab is for entering transactions, and the second tab is for viewing your transactions. So if you click on it, you can see all the transactions that you put into CashTrak, and you can see the $6 for the sandwich at lunch that we just put in, and you can see the $25 we just spent on gas at Shell. So one of the really cool things about CashTrak is you can see where you're spending your money using the built-in GPS of your phone on a Google map. And so to get to that, you just click on the transaction, the map shows up with the name, the category, the description, and the date and time that you spent the money. So it's a great way to visually remember where you're spending your money around town. So if you go back, this screen shows all of your transactions. There's also another feature. If you go up here to buy category, you can see how much you've spent in each individual category over the course of, say, the last month. So I've spent $80 on gas total. On all transactions, I can see that was $55 on gas plus another $25 later in the month. So a couple other features about this. If you want to delete a transaction, there's two ways you can do it. One is you just swipe across to the right, delete. Second, trash can. You can choose here to delete all the transactions in CashTrak, or you can just delete a single transaction. Click on that, click on the arrow, delete. The other thing that's cool about CashTrak is you can actually hold yourself to a budget. So on the settings screen, which we'll get to, you can put in the budget that you want to hold yourself to. But on this screen, if you hit the arrow buttons, the circle arrow buttons, it switches between how much you've spent in this particular period, so the total, versus how much you have left. So I put in a $1,000 budget, and I've only spent $31 this month towards my budget, which means I have a total of $969 left to spend this month. Okay, so the third and final tab is the Settings tab. Here you can fully customize your categories as part of CashTrak. You can set up your budget. You can export all of your transactions to Excel via email. You can visit the CashTrak Facebook page, and you can also send me an email if you have any questions or comments about the application. So first thing is customizing categories. So let's say you eat dinner out a lot, and you want to make a brand new category to track how much money you're spending each month on dinner. So first thing you do is you click the Add Category button, upper left. You type in the name of the new category. So in this case, it's dinner. Hit Enter, and you'll see that dinner shows up on this list. And if you go back to the Enter Transaction screen, you can see that dinner shows up on the transaction entry screen as well. Other thing you can do with categories, you can actually reorder them by dragging the icon on the right-hand side. So let's say you want lunch to show up before dinner. Let's say you want all of your food-related categories to show up together. You can drag up grocery. It's as simple as that. Let's say you use public transportation. You don't really want to track your gas expense, which is great. You just hit the red arrow to the left, hit delete. That category is gone. And you can see your category changes reflected on the first screen. So back to the settings screen, second thing you can do is you can set up your budget. So as you remember on the second tab, we had a $1,000 monthly budget that we were tracking towards. Here's where you can change that amount. You can change it to whatever you want, and what will happen is on the second screen, when you click that circle arrow button, you'll see how much money you have left to spend in the particular month towards that budget amount that you set on this screen. So third thing that you can do is you can export your transactions to Excel. And how this works is you click this button. It composes an email with the attachment that you can open up in Excel, you can open up in Google Docs, and a number of other spreadsheet applications. This has all your transactions, so it has your transaction category, your transaction amount, your memo, it has the date, it has the time, and it also has the GPS coordinates of the transaction. You can use it in Excel, you can make a pivot table, you can use it for backup, so if you lose your iPhone, you still have all your transactions saved on your computer. You just enter your email address here, change the text if you want, hit send, and you'll get your transactions in an Excel format in your email. So we're not going to send this email, but that's how you do it. Last two things, very quick. Visit CashTrak on Facebook. So that just brings your web browser to www.facebook.com/CashTrak, CashTrak. And there you can see the CashTrak community. You can post comments on the wall. It'd be great to hear from you. The other option that you have is this button here. It just sends me an email if you have any individual questions about the app or if you have any comments. I'd love to hear from you. And so this is probably the fastest way that you can get in touch with me. So thank you very much for watching. I think that CashTrak is one of the best applications in the iTunes Store for very simply, cleanly managing your expenses. And I now use it all the time, and I think that you guys will get a lot out of it. So thanks for watching the video. Let me know if you have any questions, and download CashTrak in the iTunes Store.